So when you get down to the bottom line of the entire conspiracy, it's control of perception. That's it. Everything is about control of perception. So what they have to do is control the perceptions of people, which leads to the behavior of people. We behave as we do because we perceive as we do. So if you take again the COVID example, people went meekly under house arrest and put their little masks on um, because they were persuaded that there was a deadly virus. And if they weren't persuaded, then they were intimidated into doing it anyway for fear of not doing it. And so the goal is control of perception. One of the things that I've um, observed over the years, I guess because I was one once, is professional football and football games, sporting events in general, because you see constantly how perception creates reality. You know, you'll have a football team, and they're getting absolutely hammered by the other team. Maybe they're 2 goals down already, and um, they're getting slaughtered, and then they pull a lucky goal back against all the run of play, and suddenly they're a different team. All they've got is a lucky goal. Um, they haven't become better footballers because they got a lucky goal. That has changed. Hey, we got a chance here. We scored, and it dramatically changes the game. Can because the perception has changed, not anything else. And so much sporting performance is actually psychological, you know, and sport is a wonderful way of seeing all the time how um, perception creates reality, and we're doing it all the time, and this is part of a much bigger picture because it just goes on getting deeper. But the deeper you go, the more you understand, the more you see the answers. Um, what they're doing, and say they, I mean these astral entities, they understand how this works. Of course they do. They just don't want us to know. So they know that our perceptions create reality. So what are they doing? They're manipulating our perceptions because
Narrowing our bandwidth.
they know that collectively we will then create an expression of that sense of reality as an experienced reality, and it's the reality they want. This is what they call preemptive programming is about, where they're putting out movies and television series and what have you that are portraying a certain dystopian kind of future. This is why in the books and when I'm talking, I emphasize, look, this is what is planned, but it doesn't have to happen. It will only happen if nothing changes in terms of our perceptions of reality, because we're creating it. So that they put all these dystopian themes out in movies and television series, like I say, and they are basically downloading a sense of reality, and we'll then create it. They're using this mechanism of we create our own reality from our perception of reality to create the world that they want to manifest. We are creating it, which is great news because it means that we can stop creating it. And fundamental to that is to understand our true nature. We are consciousness. We are an expression of infinite awareness, having a brief human experience, but we're cut off from that level of awareness. So we're operating on a fraction of the true self. So the biggest level of this conspiracy from these astral entities is to disconnect incarnate awareness from their infinite awareness. That's what it's all about. And this move to connect the human brain awareness to artificial intelligence, so artificial intelligence becomes the human mind, is to complete that process of disconnecting incarnate self from infinite self. Because once your mind is thinking what AI is thinking, you ain't gonna ask, who am I? Where am I? What is this place? You're not going to ask those questions. You're just going to be a slave on a scale never before seen in known human history. And that's the idea. And if people think that's fantastic and that's all just ridiculous, well, they're telling us that that's what they're doing. This guy, Ray Kurzweil at Google, the so-called futurist, has written all these books about AI. He's saying that, it's said a few years ago now, that by 2030, and it's already happening, humans will be connected to artificial intelligence. And in his words, artificial intelligence will then do more and more of human thinking until human thinking is basically negligible, deleted. It means. And that artificial intelligence that suddenly turns humans into a computer terminal is not going to ask big questions. And so, we are in a period where it's not just nice to awaken, it's absolutely bloody essential. And the key thing is to awaken to your true self, because everything changes then.
Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed that episode, you might also enjoy this episode over here, as well as this one over here. Thank you for subscribing. Appreciate you. I'll see you in the next video.